Hi, this is a short vid made on the Explain Everything app, and the vid is aimed at BASC students doing a minor in science and engineering, but who have arrived on the program without maths A-level or IB higher level maths or standard level at 6 and above, or some equivalent qualification. That is, for European students, check with us if you are in this bracket. So I'll scrunch that up, and this is a video aimed at those students. Now I'll just divide this into the different years to make it a bit clearer. So we've got year 1, year 2, year 3. By the way, I'm writing with my finger on the iPad in this app. And let's expand that a bit so that's a bit clearer for you, I hope. So basically, most of you on this minor trajectory will, I guess, want to do what we call some real science, sometimes called hard science. It doesn't mean it's difficult, but it's called hard if it's towards the physics, chemistry end of the spectrum, or indeed some engineering. And I guess hard science often means that maths underpins it. So if you've come on this minor without the stuff at the top here, you will need to take in the first year a maths module, and in this case, I'm just going to reduce this a bit. Actually, it's just a bit too big, I think. In this case, we suggest you take the Chem 1002 or 1003 modules. These are taught by the chemistry department, but they're aimed at their students who arrive without maths. So they're general maths courses for people who want to go on and do science but arrive at UCL without maths, and they're very good for that. So you will need to do those if you want to go on to sciencey modules, and then in the second year you can go on to stuff like physics, chemistry, engineering, and economics. The stuff which is basically on the website as the designated modules in the first year. Now, don't forget that if you're doing on a minor trajectory, you're not obliged to take third year modules in your third year. You have a kind of allowance. You can take second year modules as your final year modules, and so you can progress in these areas and take second year modules in your third year, and that's absolutely fine. You'll get a real taste. It is just a taste, but it's a real taste of, as I say, what's called hard science or engineering or indeed economics down that pathway. Now, another way you could go is a computer programming route, and this way you would start in year 1 with a programming module. I think it's INST on the website, INST. Then there's a second level programming module, easy progression, and then in the third year that would lead on to more programming or other computer science, CS computer science modules and things associated with computer science. And you don't really need to do more traditional maths, the sort of math that underpins the science I was talking about just now, to do this module. Because it kind of stands alone if you want to do the sort of programming in these modules. However, of course, you have to be up for the kind of logic and mathematical thinking that underpins computer science. So that's one way you can go and not include more standard maths. And there's a third route here, I'll try and squeeze that in, which is in the first year you can kind of do modules which don't have any maths at all. And you could say they're around the history and the philosophy of science modules, science policy, things like that. And also the geology or earth science modules. And that's because these are more descriptive science, where you will get the maths you need in the module, but as I say, it's what we would call, I guess, softer science, although some geology and earth science can be very mathematical. In this case, these are more descriptive and not requiring mathematics. And in that case, then you could progress to second year modules in similar things. So these guys can progress into the second year and on into the third year. Let me get my blue back for that. So that progresses that way. Now that would mean that, as I say, you haven't had any really hard science. You haven't done the kind of science which maths is underpins, and you could say that you haven't got a taste therefore for what most science, or indeed engineering or economics, insofar as that is a science as well, is at university. So you might miss that, and you might think, after this first year, I really want to do some more sciencey science, and in that case you could backtrack a bit, take the maths for scientists from chemistry in this second year, and then find some of these guys again, physics, chemistry, engineering, economics modules, and do them in your third year. Remember, they'll be level 2 modules and they'll be in your third year. If you do that, you will have to make up a bit of ground here between the 2 years, because don't forget, these are level 2 modules, and you will only have done this first year Maths for Scientists course. So you would have to make up a bit of ground in between in the maths if that's the way you wanted to go. So our suggestion is to aim for the 1003 module if you can. It's slightly harder than 1002, but it does occur in the second term, so you could make up the ground in the first term and over the Christmas holidays and go for that, because that will prepare you better for these modules in the second year. But that's, as I say, in the second term, and the 1002 module is slightly easier maths in the first term. Now, final word on this non-maths route in the science minor. Let me get one more colour for this, purple. This route, particularly the history and philosophy of science, and also to some extent the earth sciences, does allow you, as I say, to go through the whole degree without really doing the kind of maths and science which often people think of as science at university. And that's fine in a sense. We've put that there for people who are really interested or who really, really want to avoid the other stuff. But it doesn't, in a sense, meet the spirit of some of the rest of the degree. So it's really, I don't want to come down too hard on this. Obviously, we wouldn't have put it in the diet if we didn't think it was very respectable and to give you an interesting take, in a way, on science from a historical or philosophical perspective. But to get the full interdisciplinarity, you might, as I say, want to consider these other routes where you start with some mathematics and then progress. That would be this one here, or a more computer sciencey route. Having said all that, there is of course the quantitative methods course in the first year, which gives you an understanding of how quantitative, that is in a sense mathematical techniques, can underpin every area of human thought, including science. So if that's enough for you, then it would be satisfactory and indeed very interesting to some of you to pursue this non-mathematical route in the minor of the sciences and engineering.